So before we get started, I'll give you a bit of a backstory on this engine and why I'm taking it apart. First off, it's been sitting for about 2 years. The reason why I took it out, it came out of a 2006 Honda Civic, I believe. The reason why I took it out is because I'll show you in a sec, it had the crack block symptom. And honestly, now that I look at the crack when it's out of the car, I probably could have pulled the engine, had it repaired, put it back in. But what I decided to do at the time was pull the engine, get an engine at the junkyard, put that in. That's a long time ago, before I even started the channel. So this thing's kind of been sitting for me, waiting for 2 years. Because I wanted to do some sort of rebuild project on it like I'm gonna do today. Yeah, so theoretically, well not theoretically, it was running when I pulled it out of the car. And again, the only reason why I pulled it out of the car was the cracked block. Pretty much what I wanna do is take it apart and do a full inspection and just kind of show what you would look for if you take apart a used engine and like what looks good, what doesn't look good. So yeah, just to show you the cracked block here. Yeah, I bought this car as a bit of a mechanic special. The previous owner had a jug of coolant in the back and I asked him why, and he said, oh, you know, whatever reason. He said it was for another car, so totally lied to me. It was because this thing was using coolant, because it's coming out of the back of the block. The previous owner, someone repaired it with JB Weld. I put more JB Weld on top trying to repair it, and it did not repair, it continued to drip. So then that's when I decided to replace the whole engine. Okay, so first thing, we are going to try to rotate the engine. Like I said, this thing was running when I took it out, so we just want to make sure it didn't freeze up for sitting for 2 years. And exactly as I expected, it's rotating. This thing was actually sitting inside in a climate controlled shop, so it wasn't into the elements, so it didn't rust the cylinders or anything like that. And it's still making compression, so that's good. I'm gonna go to town and take off the 3 main covers. So we're gonna have the valve cover, and I'm gonna take off all the accessories, coil pack, I think some coolant bypass tube, EGR. Yeah, that's EGR. And then, our top cover is our valve cover, our front main cover, our timing cover, and then our bottom cover, the oil pan. So now we have all 3 main covers off, which was the valve cover, oil pan, timing cover. I'm gonna start taking the top end of the engine apart here. First, I'm gonna get this valve lifter arm assembly, I guess, off, and then the camshaft, and I should be able to break the head bolts loose, get the head off. You can see that this engine was not maintained very well at all. There's a whole bunch of sludge everywhere. Like, that's pretty bad. It's not the worst I've seen, but pretty darn bad. The main reason why we're in here is the cracks in the block. So luckily I was able to chip away all the JB Weld, and then I'm in contact now with a couple aluminum welders to see if they could repair it, because that actually would be quite awesome if I could save this engine. And just to show you the chunk of JB I got out of there, that thing tried its hardest to seal. It saw a bit of coolant, kind of dried up coolant there. Like I said, it tried, but that was an absolute farm hack repair. So we are going to see if we can do it properly. Just that tiny little crack right there is what the coolant was coming out of on this port. And this side, it's actually the crack is right on the ridge there. So that's where it was coming on this side. So like I said, I text an aluminum welder. Hopefully he can fix this block for us. So now I have the proper tool. We can go ahead and get the head off, and then we'll check out the cylinders first because I'll be curious, and then we'll flip it over and get the pistons out. All right, guys, this is an absolute testament to Honda's engineering and reliability. So this motor had 250 some thousand kilometers on it, like I said, and it's obvious to me it was not taken care of with frequent oil changes, because there's so much sludge and varnish built up on the top of the head there. But if we look at the cylinder walls, those are like brand new. You can literally see all of the defined cross hatching from new, no scoring. That's unbelievable. It's actually the cleanest like literally no scoring, no marks. I mean, there's a tiniest little bit of marks there, but that's nothing. Like that's the best I've seen out of every engine I've taken apart so far. And like I said, this was on a motor that was not maintained. So, and then yeah, just small little details here, like you have pretty thick distance between your cylinders, so that would also add to strength. So now that we have the heads off, I'm gonna take the pistons out. All right guys, so I have the engine fully torn down here and all cleaned up. Sorry, I'm using this gimbal camera, not used to my normal one. But anyway, I have the engine all torn down, cleaned up. I'll show you some of my findings. So first, okay, they're kind of dirty, the cylinder walls, because they flash rusted or whatever, but I'll tell you in a sec. I decided to make the decision not to rebuild this, but the cylinder walls on this thing looked exceptionally well. Like they literally looked brand new, no scoring, nothing. So that's the good thing about the block. And then the bad thing, the cracks that we looked at earlier, that's the main reason why this thing was taken out of commission. And then just looking at the head, it's quite interesting actually. There wasn't any cam bearings or separate caps. I've never seen, I don't think I've worked on a car actually where it has a camshaft that goes through the center like that. Like normally they're caps that lift off and the cam lifts off, and there's no bearing. So you can see those marks there where the camshaft sits on it, but that, like, I don't feel that with my finger at all. And you can see the cam has like the two raised parts here. So I would say that's totally normal and acceptable if I were to put this thing back together. Crankshaft looks absolutely perfect. No marks, no scoring on the crankshaft. Camshaft, the only damage I noticed was it has a bit of pitting on the tip of the lobe there. I think that's pretty common for Hondas. I was doing some reading up on these, and then I had a K24 out of I think it was 02 or 3 CRV that had lots of pitting in the cam, but I ended up replacing the head, so it kind of worked out. Piston looks great. The connecting rod bearings are also in surprisingly good shape. Like those pretty much have no scoring. That almost looks brand new to me. All the bearings. If I were to rebuild this engine on a budget, I probably would reuse those, to be honest. And then one weird thing I noticed on the main bearings here, on the crankshaft main bearings, is one of them had a really good groove worn into it, like some metal or material went through there. But I was kind of looking, like I wonder if it's a design flaw with the bearing, because it looks like a bit of the edge there, like it looks like there's a little bit of material removed from like the split there, or the groove on the bearing. So it looks like there's a bit of material that kind of rolled over and then just worked its way and put a nice edge, or yeah, line groove in the bearing. This was the second worst one I saw. Kind of has that same idea, edge kind of rolled over, same groove. The other half of the bearings look just fine. And then I will kind of go over a couple things I noticed on this engine, which I thought was over-engineered, which is a good thing, and probably, or definitely attributes to why it's so reliable. Again, I was doing a bunch of reading up on these engines, and they're just, online was talking about how these things go 2, 3, 4, 100,000 K. It's unfortunate that it had that block crack issue, because that seems to be the only documented issue with these engines, but I think they fixed it by like 08 or something like that. So yeah, first thing I noticed, like I said, it has this cam bridge. So I'd imagine instead of having the separate caps, that makes for a much stronger holding of the camshaft. Although I don't think it's super common for the cam bearings to spin or fail or whatever, but just one thing I noticed. Second thing I noticed is it has these split rods. So you see that like kind of in racing applications quite a bit. So or I've seen it in a lot of engines too. Maybe it's cheaper manufacturing, not too sure. But what they do is they make the rod and then they actually break it and split it just so it has a natural crack, versus cutting the rod, because then you remove material, which would make it less strong. One thing I did notice, I was going to go over improvements, I guess, for this engine, but again, it doesn't really matter unless you're modifying them, is these connecting rods are exceptionally skinny. Like, I actually think that's the skinniest connecting rods I've ever seen. So, you know, this engine makes whatever, 118 horsepower from factory. And I see why a lot of guys don't modify or boost these, because you'd have to replace those. Otherwise those would break immediately under boost. And then same thing, I noticed this piston was just pretty skinny as well, like that thickness there and the skirt thickness. So not super strong pistons or rods, but again, it didn't matter what the car was designed for. At the head, it also has a manual valve, so that makes for much more reliable valves. I would say, like most cars I see, new cars I see nowadays, usually have hydraulic valve failure or timing chain, which is known to go on these cars. I replaced mine thinking that there's a noise, and I was researching, apparently it's common for the timing chain to make noise on these. But again, that system was relatively simple. It only had, you know, one camshaft, one gear, no like balance gears, multiple alignment gears, whatever. Just one chain, 2 gears, cover came off easily, very easy to access. Like someone could do that job in like 4 or 5 hours. Another thing I noticed on the block side, which would definitely contribute to reliability, is it's more common for the crankshaft main bearings to spin versus the camshaft bearings. And to add strength, this has the crankshaft was held in with this separate cradle instead of main cap. So this cradle would be substantially stronger holding the crankshaft in versus caps, which maybe would allow, like the caps would maybe lift up a little bit, allow for a little room for that bearing to spin. But the main cradle would be substantially stronger than caps. And this had oil squirters, which was quite interesting. Again, that's kind of race car technology stuff for higher end performance engines, but this economy engine had oil squirters. So the reason why I made the decision not to rebuild this engine is because I have nothing to swap it into. I don't really feel like getting another Honda with like engine problems and swapping it into. I found I've had much better luck just buying kind of light mechanic special cars that need 10 hours of work versus an engine swap would be 20 hours of work or more. I was thinking about rebuilding it and reselling it as like a rebuilt engine, but the only welder I could find that was willing to work with that cracked block wanted $450 to do it. And I was also reading online, like obviously there's a risk with warping the block, not repairing the crack or not sealing the crack properly, all that stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if I really want to deal with that. And then parts like those main crank bearings, head gasket, seals, all that stuff. I made up a cart in Rock Auto and it's minimum $300 plus extras. So, and then these engines, you know, they made millions of them. They're generally pretty reliable, so there's not super high demand. So I figured market value is like $1,200 to $1,500 for the engine. So I didn't think there's a lot of room for me to rebuild it. So for that reason, I'm deciding I'm gonna put the head back together because there's nothing wrong with the head. So I'm hoping to get like $100 for the head or whatever, and then sell the new timing chain kit because, you know, that only ran on the car for 1,000K or something, get $100 for that and just be done with it, pay for like any incidentals I had to pay for while making this video. Yeah, so that's my reasons why I'm not rebuilding this engine. But with that being said, I do have a Jeep JK 3.8 engine that I am going to rebuild that does not have a cracked block that I know of, because those are much more desirable to resell. One, if I find a Jeep with a blown engine, swap it out. Two, if I sell the engine, I see they're going for like $3,000 to $4,000 or whatever. So stay tuned for that. That'll be my next engine project. I have, like I said, Jeep engine. I'm going to strip it down completely, go through it, and I do plan on rebuilding that one. So if you guys like the content, don't forget to like and comment. And if you could especially do me a favor and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the summer, so August 2026. And yeah, that's it. Look forward for the next rebuild video. Thanks, guys.